Hello dear students, so now today we would move ahead in this first chapter of class 12th mathematics, that is relations and functions. So today we are going to discuss the types of relation. As in the previous video we have discussed about the relations there, okay, and today we are going to discuss the types of relations. Now if you see, we have three types of relations: reflexive, symmetric and transitive. So relations can be divided into three categories: reflexive relation, symmetric relations and transitive relations. Okay, now here one thing, let me tell you, here in your chapter you would see the relation uh, from a to a. The relations would be such that it would be from a to a, means on the same set. The relations would be on the same set. It would not be like a relation is such that it is from a to b, means you would not be getting that two set. Okay, so set will be the same there. Okay, so here you would have the relation a to a. Okay, are you getting this? Means both the set are same there. Are you getting this? Very good. Now let's talk about the reflexive relation. What are the reflexive relation? Okay, so a relation is reflexive if let me tell you, if for all, this is the symbol for, we call it as for all. This is the symbol of for all. Okay, so a relation would be reflexive if for all a that belongs to a, and it is such that, remember this, it is such that for all a belongs to a, such that its doublet is also there in the relation, such that a comma a belongs to r, then only you would call the relation as reflexive relation. What does it mean? It means, let's say you have a set a and it contains element 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, then if you have a relation on a to a, then you would call that relation, so means in that relation there should be all the doublets. So what would be the doublets? Like 1 comma 1, 1 comma 1 should be there, 2 comma 2 also should be there, 3 comma 3 also should be there. Remember this, all doublets should be there. If there would be one more 4, then also it would be there. Are you getting this? Yes. So means doublet of all the elements should be there in the relation. Then only you call such relation as reflexive relation. If any element is not having its doublet there in the relation, then you would not call it a reflexive relation. Means all the elements, means all the doublets, means doublets of all the elements should be there. These are the doublets: 1 1 2 2 3 3. Okay, so all the doublets should be there in the relation, means so you are not going to leave any one single element there. Okay, so all the elements should be in the form of doublet in the relation there. Are you getting this? So if such relation you are calling as reflexive relation. Are you getting this? So which relation is reflexive? For all a that belongs to a, so its all doublets should be there in the relation. It is for all, remember this, for all. Okay, now let me tell you another thing. Now symmetric relation. Which relation is symmetric relation? Now symmetric relation means for any, remember this, here for all, here it is for any. Just you have to remember this, for any a comma b belongs to a. If you have two elements such that a comma b belongs to a, and then you have a relation, and I am writing here, and there you have a relation a comma b, this is the ordered pair here, and this relation is there in, this relation is belongs to r. Okay, means this r is having this one relation. So it implies what? It implies if a comma b is there in r, so b comma a also should be there in r. Remember this, b comma a should also be there in r. That you have to remember. But it is not for all the element. If any single element is like that, okay, You take any two element A comma B. Let's say we have a set A and it contains element 1 comma 2 comma 3. Remember this. Let me give you the example. I am giving you just the example. Okay, let's say we have a set A and it has the element 1 comma 2 comma 3 in the relation. Okay, now here you have ordered pair of 1 comma 2 that is there in R. Now if you are having 2 comma 1 also in R, then only you would call this relation as the symmetric relation. Okay, now let's say you have another element 2 comma 3 that belongs to R. So if 3 comma 2 is not there in R but 2 comma 1 is there in R, then still the relation is symmetric. That you have to remember. Okay, because it is not for all. Like in the previous one, that was for all. Means the doublets of all the elements should be there in the relation. But this is not the necessary condition here. Remember this. It is for any. You take any two elements. If they are in this form in R, so the reverse means if A comma B is there in R, so B comma A also should be there in R. Means you can take for any element. Okay, then only you would call such relation as the symmetric relation. So any element you can take. Like here we have the reverse of 1 comma 2 as 2 comma 1 in R. So both are there in R. Then you can call it a symmetric relation. Whether this 3 comma 2 is there or not, that doesn't matter here. Okay, so it is for any because it is for any. So any two elements you can take. Are you getting this? Getting this? So such relation you would be calling as the symmetric relation. Which one relation? Symmetric relation. So symmetric relation means you have A comma B that belongs to R and you have a relation A comma B that belongs to R. So it implies what? It implies B comma A should also be there in R. Are you getting? Now the next one is the transitive relation. So which one relation is transitive? So it is again for any. Now here you are to take three elements. For any three elements, let's say A comma B comma C that belongs to the set A. These are the three elements and one more condition is there. And you have and I'm writing here and you have A comma B that belongs to R. Then you have B comma C that also belongs to R. You have three elements A comma B comma C that belongs to A, and then you have the ordered pair A comma B that belongs to R. Then you have B, that element you have to take here. Remember this B and this B are both are same. Okay, then you have B comma C that also belongs to R. Then it implies what? It implies the first and the third, means A comma C. It implies A comma C is also there in R. Then only you would call such relation as the transitive relation. Okay, so which relation is transitive? Let's say if there are three elements A comma B comma C that belongs to A, and if you have the ordered pair A comma B belongs to the relation. Similarly, you have B comma C also belongs to the relation, that the first and the last means A comma C should also be there in the R. If this condition is being satisfied, then only you could call such relation as the transitive relation. Are you getting it? Let me give you the example. Okay, let's say we have a set A which contains three elements 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, and we have three ordered pairs. Let's say we have 1 comma 2, that is a relation belongs to R. Here we have a relation which is having this one ordered pair, and then we have another relation that is 1 comma 2, then we have to take 2 comma 3. Okay, then we have another relation 2 comma 3 also belongs to R. Then if what? The first and the last, means if 1 comma 3 is also there in R, then you would call such relation as transitive relation. Are you getting this? Very good. So now you might be getting now what is reflexive, what is symmetric, and what is transitive relation. Are you getting? Very good. Okay, so a relation is reflexive if for all A, means all the doublets are there in R. Would be symmetric if A comma B there in R, so B comma B also there in R, but it is for any, not for all. Remember this. In the previous one it is for all. Okay, now transitive means if A comma B, for any A comma B, three any in at random three elements you can take. So if these three elements are there in A belongs to A, and if you have the ordered pair A comma B and B comma C that belongs to R, it implies what? The first and the last, means A comma C should also be there in the R. So such relation you would be calling as the transitive relation. Are you getting? Now one more thing let me tell you. One more thing let me tell you. If a relation, you have a relation R which is from A to A, the relation is such that which is from A to A, and this one relation is reflexive also, symmetric also, and transitive also, then you would be calling such relation as equivalence relation. Remember this. Means it should be reflexive also, symmetric also, transitive also. If anyone is not there, then again you would not be calling it as an equivalence relation. All mean the relation should be reflexive also, relation should be symmetric also, and relation should be transitive also. Are you getting? If the relation is all of these three types, then you would be calling such a relation as equivalence relation. Are you getting this? Now let me write it in a box somewhere. Okay, let me write it here. Let me write this here. Equivalence relation. That you have to understand. It's very important. Equivalence relation. So which relation is equivalence relation? Means the relation is which is reflexive also, symmetric also, transitive also. Then you would be calling such relation as equivalence relation. A relation that is reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. Then only you would be calling such relation as equivalence relation. Are you getting this? Are you getting? Okay, just note it down. Then I would be telling you something other. Okay, so which relation is not reflexive, which relation is not symmetric, which relation is not transitive, means the opposite condition I am going to tell you now. Okay, just note it down before that. Now which relation is not reflexive? Which relation is not reflective? Means where you have not a doublet of an element, then you would be calling such relation as not reflexive. Okay, like if there exists, this is the symbol of there exists. Okay, if there exists an element A that belongs to A, getting this or not, and its doublet is not there, is not belongs to the relation, means that it's a doublet does not belongs to the relation, then such relation you would call as not reflexive. Are you getting this? Let's say we have a set A which have element 1, 2, 3. Now if you have the doublet of 1 there, 1, 1 there in the relation, 2, 2 is also there in the relation, but there exists 3 that is in A and it's a doublet, means 3, 3 is not there in R, then you would be calling such relation as not reflexive. Getting this? Very good. Okay. Now the next one, not symmetric. So which relation is not symmetric? Not symmetric. So which relation is not symmetric? If for any element, you are taking any elements, you have taken an element there at random. Okay. So its opposite, means yes, the reverse one is not there in the relation, then you will be calling such relation as what? What? Not symmetric relation. Okay. Now not symmetric means if there exists A comma B that belongs to the set A, and one more thing, and A comma B is there in R, but it's reverse, but B comma A is not there in R, then you would be calling such relation as not symmetric. Are you getting? If there exists A comma B which belongs to the set A, and A comma B, this ordered pair is there in the relation, and the ordered pair B comma is not there in R, then you would be calling such relation as not symmetric. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Very good. Now which relation is not transitive? That also you have to remember. Which relation is not transitive? Now again, if there exist three elements a comma b comma c that belongs to the set A, now if you have a relation a comma b that belongs to R, then b comma c also belongs to R, but what, first and last means a comma c is not there in R, then you would be calling such relation as not transitive. Let me write it here, not transitive. Are you getting this? So to prove a relation non-transitive, you would have to give an example. You would give example. Okay, so means the opposite condition, these are some opposite conditions, so you would have to prove these opposite condition by giving the examples. Simple. Getting this or not? Getting it or not? Very good, very good. Now the most important that you have to remember is the relation is from A to A, not from A to B. Means you have only a single set there, and there would be the mapping of the set A to A. Okay, means such relations you are going to study here. Okay, just note it down. That is all for today. Now in the next lecture we'll be discussing some questions related to the relations. Okay, till then stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you. Have a good day.